welcome back. Thanks for watching Talk Local on Rogers TV. John Shewchuk still in studio with us, the chair of the Waterloo Region Crime Prevention Council and Chief Managing Officer, Waterloo Catholic District School Board. John, let's talk about something that I know is huge right now. It ties in with the Think campaign. It's cyberbullying, right? And online harassing, I mean, you could call it sometimes. How difficult is it for educators and police and parents to be aware, to stop this?
It's like chasing ghosts sometimes. It's a lot different than your traditional bullying, harassing people in a hallway, which is very visible and very immediate. The cyberbullying is sort of an invasive, creeping kind of thing that builds up over time. And you often don't become aware that it's even happening until somebody has reached a tipping point, which is when we end up with these very tragic situations that we're all very much aware of. So it means having a little different set of antennae now to focus on what you should be looking for in terms of behaviors and that kind of thing. That said, bullying is bullying is bullying, and bad behavior is bad behavior is bad behavior, and it doesn't matter what form it takes or what medium is used. A lot of people are coming down hard on social media, saying it needs to be banned and all of that. Well, you know, you can run somebody over on purpose with a car too, and that doesn't mean you take cars off the road.
Right, and bullying existed before social media.
It certainly did, and it's just given people another outlet for it. Part of the problem with cyberbullying is the anonymity that people have. And quite frankly, you see it everywhere. I mean, I was on a prominent newspaper's website today, and I was looking at a news story and a column and reading some of the comments that readers had posted. And some of this stuff gets into hate speech, it gets into slander, it's misogyny, you name it, it's all out there. And these aren't kids doing it. These are full-grown adults who are you know, chirping at each other in very inappropriate ways. So that's where we get back to this breaking the cycle by getting to the young folks first, who basically will embarrass the older folks into stopping doing what they're doing. It's a point that was reached a number of decades ago, probably 2 decades ago or so, when it really reached a critical mass, the anti-drunk driving piece. Now, it's just not acceptable to drink and drive anymore, but that's because of a campaign that rolled out over a period of years. We're going to get there with bullying. That same thing is going to happen. You heard it here first. I'm making that fearless prediction.
Love it.
That bullying will end in some form. It will just become an unacceptable thing in all aspects of society, but it's going to take time and it's going to take commitment.
And you said it earlier, it takes that peer-to-peer interaction too, doesn't it? Because it doesn't matter, or not to say it doesn't matter, but I think it's more effective coming from a peer. That's not cool, right? Or
absolutely.
I'm not going to be a bystander and watch this, because we know that that's part of the problem, isn't it? Just the kids or the people, the adults, who just turn a blind eye, walk away. I shouldn't get involved, I don't know the situation.
Yeah. You hear it creeping into the speech now. You'll hear things like, really? Or, come on, man. You know, that's sort of smacking you down for chirping something stupid or inappropriate. And it's like, that's really not on. Why are you even bothering doing that? And that'll get through to some people. Other people, you know, it does build their self-esteem to take down the self-esteem of others. Those are the ones that you really have to work on. And, you know, so you look for all of the warning signs and you try and work through those things. Will it ever end completely? No. Same way drunk driving will never end completely. There will always be people who will go over that line.
And always people who pay the ultimate price.
And always people who pay the ultimate price. And we'll continue hearing about those stories. But the more that we focus on breaking that cycle at the start, the fewer of those people at the end. It's all about root causes. It's what the Crime Prevention Council is all about. And I know you're very much aware of that. I'll switch my hat. Crime Prevention Council, we're very fortunate in Waterloo Region that we have this collective of people who come together and focus on issues like this and bring their resources to bear on specific things. And that's how you have the school boards, the Catholic board, the public board, the police service, Crime Prevention Council, and other social agencies around the region focusing on this Think campaign. We actually have an ad hoc committee now focusing on cyberbullying completely, and we'll be reporting and coming forward with a strategy in a matter of a couple of months to talk about a region-wide focus on how we talk about bullying right across the spectrum, cyberbullying, not just in schools, but in the workplace, in our sports clubs, everywhere.
Because as we know it's a cycle, we know it's learned behavior. When I heard Christine use the term bullied to death, it gave me chills. And you mentioned earlier about some of the warning signs. What are some of the things that parents, educators can be looking out for on both sides? I mean, the bully and the bullied.
Yeah, I'll go to cyberbullying. I mean, most of what we see that takes the form of cyberbullying actually is taking place off of school hours in somebody's bedroom or in their basement, where they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're sending text messages, they're chirping at each other. Where are the parents? Where are the guardians? Where are the adults in the situation? And why aren't they looking at what their kids are doing, who they're hanging with, Are their behaviors changing? Are they being victimized by this kind of thing? Am I suddenly going from a 90% student to a 70% student to a 50% student, and I'm getting sick and I don't want to go to school anymore? Could it be because I'm being bullied, and what's going on my Facebook account? Maybe I'm going to want to check that. So you got to look for all of the warning flags, and oftentimes they are there right in front of our faces and we don't even know it.
And I imagine, and I'm not a parent, but I imagine as a parent that's a hard thing to see too, right? But we know ignorance is not bliss in this case.
You know,
so ask questions, reach out.
Yeah, as a parent, I've been very blessed. I'm a parent of an only child, a daughter who's 19 now. And she's not gotten into that whole sniping and bullying kind of thing, but she's seen friends get involved in it. She's seen friends be victimized by it. She's even stepped forward when she was in high school and talked to some people at the school about somebody who was acting very strangely, and an intervention actually took place. So it's people being nice to people, people looking out for each other. I mean, we really are one big family here, and when one member of the family is being picked on, or one member of the family is picking on somebody, then somebody needs to be the adult in the room and say, this needs to stop, and let's put some programs, resources in place to make sure it does stop. It doesn't make any sense to punish people after the fact. I've never been a big fan of this lock them up and throw away the key after they've robbed the bank. Let's prevent them from robbing the bank in the first place. Well, let's prevent people from having to commit suicide because they can't bear life anymore simply because they're reading nasty things about themselves online, and it could have been stopped had somebody stood up and said, no, enough.
Absolutely. Just about a minute or so left. I know a strong, friendly police presence is important as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and we have a very strong, friendly police service in this region. I can't say enough about them. I know you'll be talking to Constable Cynthia Martin later in the show. She's one of the Energizer bunnies of the Regional Police Service. She is everywhere along with her colleagues, working with students, communicating the message. You don't see very many police services across the province who are as interactive with the young people in the schools as we have here. And that only bodes well for the future, so that as the police service helps us work with breaking the cycle among the young people, we'll have a whole new generation of adults who come forward that have benefited from that close partnership between schools, police, crime prevention, and others.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful collaborative effort, and a whole new generation who will hopefully think.
Yes.
First.
Think before you tweet or text.
Perfect. John, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Stay with us. Do need to take a quick break, but as John mentioned, we'll be speaking with the Energizer Bunny herself, or Cynthia Martin, I believe, as she's also referred to. She's a constable at the Waterloo Regional Police Service, and we'll speak with her after the break. You can always get involved in our conversation. We're on Twitter at TalkLocalWR. You can email the show, talklocal@rogers.com. We'll be back right after this.